It's Sunday, you're at the lab. Preparations have started for the 2024 Superlap season. No rounds at the end of this year. We go straight to, I think it's like 6th of January in Taupo. First round for the little March behind us here. We're looking through this hole because it's the easiest thing for me to do right now. No exhaust manifold on that side. And you can see where it is on that side there. It's on the bench. Smart people already know exactly what I'm doing here. This is something you might not see. The turbos are mounted very, very low on this car. Did that on purpose. Got away with it for a bit, kind of, sort of, and then we didn't. So turbo seals started causing issues. So all of these got chopped off about here. I'm not going to touch that because I'll be off to A&E if I do that. About here, about there, about there. That was... one of them right there. That was basically, and in fact I think it's the one that was here, a straight tube from there to, again, not touching, very hot, can feel it from here, that point there. So the turbo was about 15 to 20 millimeters, something like that. This flange was way down here. So I've moved all this to lift the turbo up to get us away from a slight issue we had with oil draining that I knew was there right from the get-go and was prepared to accept it to get the turbos where I wanted them in the car without going for a dry sump system and all that sort of carry on. So while I'm at it, while I'm doing this, I've made up some lambda sensor bungs and we're going to fit those on the runners, and then we can tune the car to a better point than what we could do without them, because we'll know exactly what each cylinder is doing as far as airflow and fuel requirements and stuff. And everyone's like, why did you make up some bungs instead of just using the ones you have on the shelf? Here are the ones that I have on the shelf. This is standard. They screw into there like that. My hand's in the way, you can't see it. And look how much of the sensor protrudes into the exhaust system / port. Now you imagine if this is our exhaust port and we've gone and put that much in there. That's not going to be very good while we're trying to tune it. We're going to lose all sorts of things. We're going to lose power. We're going to create high pressure in the runners. We're going to disturb the flow. We're going to muck up the tune. So I have made some that are very good and much, much shorter. And also it'll help keep the temperature down in these sensors. Because I don't know if I've shown you before, these things, or this thing, the car that's behind us here, on the dyno, we've had these things glowing quite hot, red hot sort of thing on the dyno. Those sensors are rated at, I think it's 900 degrees C and like 1050 momentarily. We don't want to blow up sensors. They're 140 something bucks each or something like that. Whatever. I don't want to just keep wrecking them. So, good. I'm going to drill some more holes. Don't worry about this. It looks pretty shabby. I tried to sandblast it because I thought it might make it look tidier, but it actually just amplifies any issues with the welds and makes them look worse than what they are. Like, to run your fingers across there, it's fine, but to look at it, it looks shabby. Never mind. So I'm going to put one in here, which will be quite tricky. I've already had a look at the car to make sure where I can actually get these on and off while the thing's on the dyno, nice and easily without a nightmare. So you want them nice and close to the ports so that you know exactly what each cylinder is doing and you're not getting gases coming back from this way. But you also want them far away from the ports so you don't overtent the sensor, and you need them somewhere where you can actually get them on and off. Yeah, it's all fun and games. May come in handy at the track. Not going to run sensors on here permanently. We do have the sensors in the exhaust system. We know what's happening bank to bank. But if we have an issue with a little bit of a misfire or whatever, I can put a extra CAN lambda unit in the car. The wiring could be sorted for that. And put a sensor on our cylinder and see if we can figure out which one's causing problems. Sorted. For those of you who do TIG welding and fabricating and all that sort of stuff, you'll know this sort of thing looks like it'll be easy to weld. Actually isn't, because there's things in the way to get the torch in there. Got it done. Not a super sexy job, but not terrible. It's welded. That's all it needs to be. The rest of them are a little bit nicer. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? That's the only one I had concerns about. Sensor in here, hanging out forwards. and I know the firewalls in this general area. I just checked it on the car, and you can get on there. You just kind of have to manipulate the harness a little bit, the lead, just to make sure it doesn't kink over and go all silly. It's good. Shall we see if I can do this all one-handed? And yeah, this could end in tears. Is it going to end in tears? I can't look through the camera. I don't know where it's going. Hopefully it's going somewhere good. There we go. So that's it installed. There you go. You can get to all those. This is the one. See, the firewall's quite close. But that's it. Yeah. Good as gold. And I suppose as far as the aesthetics of the car goes, there's so much other clutter going on here. It doesn't really matter too much, but the bungs will be out of the way. And like if I didn't make it clear, the sensors are only going to go on there for dyno tuning or fault finding. And I've got an adapter, so we can actually use one of these ports to check the manifold pressure while we're playing around with new turbos and stuff and things. And it would not be all that hard to make some adapters to put EGT sensors in there as well if we wanted. However, with lambda sensors in there, you don't need EGT, but you can have a look, I guess, just out of precaution or whatever. I believe, I could be wrong, I believe you can get your EGTs via your lambda sensors anyway. All right, sweet, that'll do. You don't need to see any more. If you like this subject content, like, share, subscribe, etc. And hit the notification bell, all that. We need to see more subscribers. I want to see heaps more. Oh, and also we're thinking about maybe changing wheels and tyres for more bigger so we can go more faster. Thanks for watching. All right, cheers, bye.